Good afternoon to another exciting vodcast of WestShore Business. And Kelly Darwin, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm broadcasting from my highly restricted self-isolating quarantine chamber here.
Well, it's the same one you've been in all the time.
I know.
And now
but it seems more constricting right now.
Oh yeah, it's because of course you've been circuit breaked. So
that's right. I've been circuit braked. Well, what I think Ontario was it jump started or rebooted or?
Oh, I know the words they're using. There's a whole bunch of government folks making a ton of money figuring these little words out. So we're vodcasting, which is very different than what we've generally done. And
did you make that up?
Pardon me?
Did you make that up?
No, I heard it from somebody else.
Oh, okay. I thought.
It's kind of a term out there. If I did, then it's fantastic. But we're not able to riff too much, you and I, because we actually have the guest right in front of us. There's Paul Lamoureux.
No surprises.
Exactly. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining our crazy little team here.
Oh, it's great to be here, John. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're really profiling businesses in the West Shore. And Kelly, I think you put out a call.
If you're watching this 4 weeks from now, then congratulations. But if you're not, then you'll know that BC, we've just closed indoor dining, and we thought, kind of like how we stumbled into doing this podcast, was what can we do to help? And the first thought was, well, let's reach out to hospitality businesses in the West Shore and just get the information out there. What are you doing? What can you do? Are you open? Are you closed? And remind people that there's still options and there's still ways to support local businesses.
Yeah, totally. So Paul reached out, but from your post on Facebook, and Paul's the owner of Serious Coffee in the Millstream Village shopping center. Yep. Hi, Paul. How are you? He's there going. Great. I'm not sure I want to be on this thing. I'm second class.
I'm just sitting back. Well, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us about tell us about your business, how it's been impacted, I guess, generally during COVID, and then, of course, since several days ago.
Well, we really, 2020 was a real kick in the pants for all of us, and our cafe was no different. We really took a hit when COVID first came in March last year, and so we really suffered March, April, May, June-ish kind of thing, and we cut our labor costs down to nothing. I think I was working 6 days a week, just really hanging on and hoping that everything would work out. And, we came out of that. We came out of it very strong. We are grateful for the funding we received. And so we were able to put a lot of money back into the cafe, and we just hung on. And eventually, one of the things that we really saw was customers wanted a cup of coffee. And I kind of think that the coffee was the one small piece of normalcy for everyone. During COVID, when everybody was locked down and everything was closed, I can't tell you, John, how many people came into the cafe and just said, "Thank God you guys are open." And it was
that's such a great,
nobody was really eating food, but it was really interesting that everybody started ordering large. I want more coffee. I want large lattes, and it was really interesting, But we came out in the summer and the fall. We came out really strong, and now we're back at COVID. As of Tuesday, we had to close all our indoor seating, and it was basically just, let's do this one more time. And we have a system in place. We closed, you can see we closed all of our indoor seating, but we're grateful that we have a big patio. And so we moved some of the tables from outside, and we've had really strong numbers all week, which is really amazing. And I look around right now, and pretty much all the seating in our patio is full. And so we're very grateful. Really grateful for our customers and the fact we've been able to maintain our staffing levels that we are, because last year we knocked off 70% of our staff, right? And some people never had a job, and those who had 2 jobs went down to 1 job, and some people just didn't have a job, period. And so it was tough as a business owner. But so far this round we're doing great, and we haven't had to eliminate any staff. So that's our number one priority.
I drove by about an hour ago, and the patio was full, and it looked. But and we should point out, like it's full, but everything, all the tables were all distanced out, and it looks like a bigger operation because you're spread out, your patio, but also it has that safe feeling to it. And I mean, I've been in your shop, which, by the way, I got to say, so I own Seriously Creative, and whenever I go get coffee, I'm getting it from Seriously Coffee.
That's right.
So if you
Seriously,
hear that,
Millstream,
that's me.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I saw.
I'm very close to you. I live in the neighborhood, so I'm up there quite
wonderful.
a bit. And yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us to point out the businesses that we feel safe in. And I've been in a number of times, and I've always felt like you guys are doing a great job. And now with the weather better, you can extend the patio and give
Well, it's
us
a good
some
point.
normalcy.
Yeah, it's a good point, Kelly, because we have no choice but to abide by the regulations. And we've had as health inspector, we've contacted him, and he's come in, had a look. We had to make a couple of changes, put up another screen, and on the patio, we're lucky because we have the space, and so we have to spread out, and you have no choice but to abide by the rules. Because, like I tell my staff, we just had a staff meeting last night, and it was like, we must ensure that our customers are safe. We need to have our cleaning protocols and safe. We have to be diligent in wiping down the tables, because if one of my staff gets sick, we all get sick. And if we all get sick, then we close the cafe and nobody has a job. So it's a real concern for all of us.
What leadership? I mean, that's just like in your face leadership. Well done, Paul. There are company owners that are not exhibiting that. So here and there breaking the rules, or let's say bending the rules.
There's a lot of bending.
There's a lot of bending, and hey, we're all business people, and when things are tight, that's a terrible time for anyone. But congratulations, you're actually building your business because you are airtight on the rules.
Well, I just find it so much easier, John, to play by the rules and stay ahead of them. Like when all this happened, we phoned the health inspector, and I said to Paul, the health inspector, come on out and make sure we're doing everything right. Because, the last thing we want to do is be in a situation where our business is going to suffer as a result. And I've always found it, even in a franchise environment, it's easier to get in the boat and row with the team versus fighting and being that one cafe that's always trying to do things against the rules. And I don't need the stress, and I don't need the headache of it all.
Yeah. Well, let's have a little fun here after that very serious conversation. So I am a coffee addict, but I've told black coffee. And you've seen me during the session drink my coffee. It's now mid-afternoon. I'm still drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So which of your flavors, which of your types of coffee, what became the most go-to, most popular coffee during COVID?
That's a great question, because I was really curious too. And I remember back in 2008 when the recession hit, and I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to take a good kick in the pants. But what I found is, like, people always wanted, like, it was always a balance between 50% espresso drinks and 50% drip coffee. And I think if I were to run the stats, I would be willing to bet that it's the same. People want a little bit of specialty. People want a latte because it's a treat, right? And I used to drink lattes all the time, and then I got away from that, and then I just drink drip coffee, and I'm like, this drip coffee is great. And now I drink our dark roast, our coal miners, which is dark organic. It's a beautiful roast, and my mom's hooked on it. My sisters are hooked on it.
Right on.
And my wife and I drink it. My wife and I drink it every single day, and but it's people want a little piece of like a little treat, and I think that's what a latte is for them, or a mocha, or whatever.
I've really seen an explosion of coffee memes on social media, because it's been sort of the go-to thing to sort of cope with these very challenging times. Is like, everything, all things considered, I still have my coffee. Have my coffee. How are your industry colleagues doing? How are others coping, or do you know? Or
Well, as a franchise, I think everybody's experienced a slowdown, especially when COVID hit last year. Like we were all just taking a beating, right? And I think
Mhm.
every business, I don't think we're any different from other people, but you know, once the initial shock of March and April and May and June, my kids were at home. We were homeschooling. I was bringing my kids to the cafe every day, and I think we were all just took a beating. And now I know none of the cafes and none of the Serious Coffee franchises have actually closed as a result, which is great. Everybody's
good.
laid off staff. None of the cafes have actually closed. I know we had a couple sales of franchises, but right now because of the COVID, I know one of my friends who owns a cafe has suffered drop in sales. But I think as time goes by, we're all just hanging on, and every owner is in the business. Even our head office, all the owners have come back and are running the business. And we're just, as an entrepreneur, John, you really have to have this mindset. It's like, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to survive. And when push comes to shove, at the end of the road is my driveway, and I'll be in here as much as I have to just to make sure this business runs and we survive this. But I know we're going to. So,
Now, how long have you been at that location?
we're actually the first location. I built this cafe 14 years ago. And, if you're looking around the mall, the first phase was right to the market. And when I opened up everything in this way, everything was a parking lot. And so my building was the first building in the second phase. And I think we were the third, or the second, one of the top first three businesses to open in this building. And so we've been here like from the beginning, 14 years now.
Wow.
Okay, so my apologies for the viewers. By the way, Paul, at any given time, we're ranging from 6 to 60,000 viewers. So it depends on what sort of mood they're in.
That's right.
Kind of leans one way there, but yeah.
Both Kelly and I have animals, small dogs. Well, I have a small dog. You have both big and small dogs.
I have a big and a small.
And so now that we're doing vodcasts, I occasionally have a little interruption. So my apologies to all those viewers. I need to get my dog on some coffee. He was a little bit stressed right there.
So 14 years, like I remember that. I remember the shopping center being built.
Yeah.
That makes me feel old now. It's already 14 years. It feels like it's only been a few. What have you been in the coffee business before? Did you have a different business before, or what led you there?
No, actually, before I opened this cafe, I had no previous business. I went on a course years ago. I thought about, opening up a business, and my ex-wife and I had it where she opened up her own interior design business, and I was part of that. And so in the back of my mind, I always wanted to open a business, and I used to be a cop for Saanich. I was a police officer for Saanich for 21 years.
Get
and I
out
retired.
of here. Really?
Yeah,
21 years.
Yeah.
And you retired. You look like you're like 28. What
Yeah,
the
that's what I
hell?
was
What are
thinking.
you,
Thank you.
You
what are
joined
you
the force in
drinking in
elementary
there?
school.
Great coffee. That's what it is, right?
I'm coming down to your store. There's something going
It's
on.
that dark
in there.
rose.
Yeah, it's the dark roast. It's the organic stuff. Yeah, I retired 4 years ago. I got remarried, and my wife and I, 2017 was a big year. We got married on a beach down in Belize, and I came home and I retired from the police department. And then I went to Royal Roads University, and I did the executive coaching program. So I retired because when I retired, our kids were 7 and 10. So we had the expenses of a nanny. And so we really had so much stress because I was going back to the patrol division, and my wife is in a patrol division. My wife's also a police officer. So our number one priority was our family. And so we had to make a decision. So I was eligible to retire because I hit 50. And so it was just like, you know what, I'm out. And I became an executive coach. And that was a plan 5 years prior to me getting out of the police department. And we had the cafe. So it was just beautiful timing. And then, I opened the cafe like 14 years ago, and I ran the cafe as I took a leave of absence in 2006. 2007, and I worked in the cafe every day to learn the business. Every day I worked, and so in the end of 2007, I ended up going back to the police department, and I've had a manager in place ever since. And so I ran the cafe while doing my job at the police department.
Wow.
So are you still doing some work with the police department now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Just listening to my wife's police stories. That's my only role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What a background. So you are an executive coach. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah.
And what
Yeah,
does that mean? What, I mean, I've heard Kelly talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, Royal Roads has an amazing program. I did my master's in leadership at Royal Roads 10 years ago. And so I went back to Royal Roads and did the executive coaching program, which is a 10-month program. And you become certified through the International Coach Federation as an executive coach. And so one of my niches is I love helping people rewrite their story. So it's kind of like a life coach, right? I coach a lot of business people, a lot of business owners. It's kind of like I kind of fell into that role because of my abilities and my skills here at the cafe. So I've coached business owners, I've coached people on personal issues, but I'm basically a life coach and help people kind of figure out what they want to do, rewrite their stories, and just kind of move ahead. And so that's been such a tremendous opportunity. And I've been doing it since 2017. And that's my retirement gig, if you will.
Wow. Kelly, I'm so
I always see a correlation between franchise owners and business coaches, because it's that process driven approach to business that seems to just be a perfect marriage in that situation.
Well, you know, when after being an entrepreneur and a cafe owner for 14 years, there's really nothing that you don't know as far as how to run a business. You know, we deal with the headaches of staffing, we deal with the ups and downs of the economy, and we deal with problems, and you're a problem solver, and you know the expenses, and you learn financing, and you learn HR, and you know you really get to be like one of the big bonuses. You get to be a big part of the community, right? And this cafe is really the heartbeat of our mall, and you know it's such a tremendous opportunity to meet people and volunteer, and you know there's so many wonderful aspects of being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, I'm so glad that you came up with this idea about WestShore Business and chatting with folks, because there's so many stories, they're hidden stories. Mm-hmm. Paul, this is an extraordinary story you're telling us. I'm just like a bit, you know, what, really? Like, wow, this, you know, a policeman, and then you become a business owner, then you become a coach, and then you know, you're teaching other folks you know, how to have, well, frankly, better lives. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah. Coaching is like the gift that very few people know about. You know, it's kind of like imagine. You know, I often think to myself, how different would life be if everybody was born with a coach? Like, I just think about me, like growing up, my single mom, and just imagine if you had a coach side by side all these years to kind of guide you and mentor you. And like, I think life would be different for everybody.
Wow.
So I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to be a coach.
Well, man.
The only regret I have with getting a coach was I didn't do it 20 years ago.
Okay.
You know, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, I've had two in my life, and that was really the catalyst for me to become a coach, right? And they're just you know, you think you might know something, but when you have somebody on the outside who is helping you and giving you a unique perspective, it's kind of like, I would have never thought about that. But it's fantastic.
Wow, I'm so glad we came across your name, that you reached out to us. And you know, I think we should keep chatting with you over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Before we go, let just as we said in the beginning, we want to make it clear. So you're open, the patio's open. Yeah, people can come in, they can get a beverage or some food and take it to go as well.
Yeah, we're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we're open on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can only come in and take stuff to go. Everything is in to-go bags and to-go cups. But we have a big, large patio that wraps around our cafe. So you're welcome to sit there. Of course, you can't sit inside. And we've closed our creamer stations. So we're putting the cream and sugar in your coffees. Our washrooms are open, but we are open for business. That is for sure.
Nice. And if you live in Langford and you haven't been there, it's a great, like I used to do this, and I'll do this again this year when it gets nicer, is go for a walk Saturday, Sunday morning. Serious coffee is not seriously, serious coffee is a great location. So you go for a nice walk, go up there, have your latte. You can take the dog, I think, and sit on the patio with them. Is that a thing? Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And then
there's a dog right up there. Yeah. And we're in the Millstream Village Shopping Center. We're right across the street from Milestones and PharmaSave, so you can't miss us.
So what a great story. Paul, if folks want to get a hold of you for executive coaching, what would be a way to do that? Do you want to highlight?
Yeah, great question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have my email is paul@paullamoureux.ca. That's my coaching company. I've got a LinkedIn webpage. You can search my name and find me on LinkedIn. Also got a Facebook page, and I've got a website as well. So paullamoureux.ca. I'm not hard to find.
Well, we'll post that on the video.
Wonderful.
And,
Thank you.
and can't wait to talk to you. Let's say 3 months. Hopefully we're all vaccinated. Hopefully there's some kind of herd immunity going on. And hopefully we can actually maybe do one of these right in your shop.
Yeah.
Well, in 3 months, you won't find me here in my shop because my wife is retiring at the end of June. And we are taking our kids, and we're, of course, everything's going with COVID and everything, and we're all vaccinated. We're moving into a big 5th-wheel trailer, and we're going to go across North America for a year. We're going to homeschool our kids, and so you might catch me, and you might catch me in the interior somewhere, but you won't catch me in my cafe. That's for sure.
Oh my God, we're gonna catch you somewhere as you travel across North America.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We're taking off on the 28th, going to Vancouver, and then we're going east. The goal is to go east until Kenora, kind of Lake of the Woods area, and then we're going to turn around and come south through the border on Winnipeg, and then that's on October 11th, and then we're going to winter down in Arizona, and then we're going to head northeast up to the Maritimes, and then make our way back and come home in July of 2022. So you might find me probably in the interior around June.
Well, we're gonna track you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to.
Right.
You're gonna be on the Zoom call on a phone somewhere, and hey, what's going on down in Florida or whatever? I don't know.
That's right. Well, I'm going to be running my coaching business while I'm on the road too, and that's the beautiful thing about the coaching business is I can do it from anywhere, and I just put on a virtual background, and you'll never know where I'm at in my trailer or the backseat of my truck or somewhere at a campsite somewhere in Kentucky, right? So,
what a wonderful story. Well, I'm really, really happy to have met you, and I
nice to meet you guys too.
Until we meet again. Have a great Easter long weekend.
Yeah, you too, John. Thank you, and thank you as well, Kelly. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, take care, guys.